How do we do that exactly?
They're still aiming to sacrifice you, to unalive you, divine feminine, divine masculine, and it's because of all of the damage that these people have done towards your life. This cult that this Scorpio masculine was attached to, they done so many different heinous acts towards you to where it's like they have so much evidence built up against them at this point. And the people who, your family member, your ex's family member, these people who recruited this Scorpio masculine to come in with this cult and ruin your life and your reputation, they have done too much. So they feel like their only option is to unalive you in order to keep their secrets, okay? To keep what they've done to you hidden, basically. To keep the having hidden cameras on you, you know, to keep the unjustifiable acts that they have done towards you, to keep the narrative, basically, that they are really good people. That's what it is. They want to unalive divine feminine, divine masculine, because they done so much wrong to an innocent person that they are planning on unaliving this innocent person, basically to cover their ass, you know, to keep their jobs and their promotions and different things that they received while ruining your life, while torturing your life, you know, while trying to have you to unalive yourself. Okay, there's several assassination attempts on your life, several death spells, several spells for you to unalive, suicide spells, several attempts to sex traffic you, to organ harvest off of you, different hospitals, you know, the hospitals, different doctors and HIPAA laws have been violated. I mean, these people have violated divine beings' civil rights entirely. So they feel like their only other option, you know, is to unalive you so that way everything could just go away and be swept under the rug. But God, because all of these people are exposed and this cult is being dismantled as I speak. All of these people are going to prison. This Capricorn masculine who sent these people towards you in the first place, he will die before he even is arrested. And I believe this Scorpio masculine as well. Neither one of them will make it to prison because they will be unalived because they were unhealthy in the first place. You know, and they're just some wicked ass people. You know, wicked people, they should just drop like flies any damn way in my mind. That's just my own personal opinion. And I'm not being ugly or evil or anything. You know, people who harm innocent people, people who essay children, people who steal and rob, you know, from innocent mothers and children and exploit women and children, they deserve to die. Nothing more, nothing less. You know, they don't deserve to be able to live a free and healthy life. Why? It makes no sense to me. But anyway, moving on. These people, this cult, these different organizations who this retired Army vet recruited in, okay? I don't know if this man he already belonged to this cult, this organization, you know, this sex group. I don't know what these people do. You know, nothing really shocks me or surprises me about anything anymore. You know, I've shared this with you guys before. When I was in Georgia, you know, the different things that I experienced from an ex and from his family and different people who I thought were friends and my own child included, okay? And a masculine who was sent towards me to ruin my life, you know, to unalive me, you know. The things that I've experienced as far as just in Georgia, the heinous things that I've experienced just in Georgia, how the local law officials will side with criminals, you know, how females will hate you just because you're beautiful and they will attack you and your children just because of that. You know, people who will stand by and watch patiently while you are being basically tortured to the point where you should just fall dead. And they're waiting and laughing. I haven't experienced, the only time I experienced that type of evil was in Georgia. Well, that was my first time ever experiencing those levels of evil was from Georgia, okay? But it got a little bit worse in Louisiana, and a little bit worse in Washington, and even more worse in Oklahoma City, you know. That's where the stalking for me, the gang stalking and the, you know, different organizations and everything, the Colts and the crews and the Covens and the Burleys and the Brule crew and, you know, all of those different things started harassing me and stalking me even more aggressively, you know. So, but yeah, these people really, they want to basically wipe all of this clean, you know, and keep their noses clean, but they can't. They're seen already. They're being investigated by the FBI and the CIA. Okay, it's too late. And thank God, they all deserve prison. Justice is finally being served. I've been saying this for years. I started my first TikTok in 2021. The end of 2021, beginning of 2022, I started my first TikTok page. And that was when I had first started receiving my downloads and my dream messages and visions, okay, and hearing different conversations. My clairs basically increased during those times, okay, because I was being attacked so aggressively when I was in Georgia. You know, I didn't know that I was literally surrounded by the enemies. You know, I was literally communing with the people who were wanting to unalive me, who were desperately trying to unalive me. You know what I'm saying? On a daily basis. I did not know that. You know, that's how asleep I was. You know, how deep my coma was. You know, how deep I was in the matrix. Put it like that. You know, when you are unawakened, you don't realize, or you don't take those lenses off. You see people who you love with a certain lens. You view them as, no, these people won't do these different things to me. No, this person wouldn't do that. You know, this person loves me. Absolutely not. When you are awakened by God and those lenses are removed from you, you are able to see people for exactly who they are. And a lot of them are some wicked fucks who deserve the worst on this planet, because these people continue to attack innocence. Okay, this was innocence, period, point blank. This ex wanted this ex masculine who you were no longer with, okay, and you didn't want anything to do with. This man said, oh man, or this woman said, oh man, you're going to leave me? How dare you? I'm going to make sure you don't make it out of this town. I'm going to hire someone and tell them that you are the worst person in the world, so they will help me and recruit more people to unalive you, because you left me. You left me after I cheated on you several times, after I robbed you, after I videotaped you and your children and exploited you on the dark web, after I poisoned you a couple of times and tried to unalive you, after I done so many different things to you, you have the nerves to leave me? You won't make it out of this town alive. And that was the plan for your life, along with your family member who hated you for several years prior. And you had no idea. Okay, 11:44 on my timer. Justice is here and justice will be served. Everybody's going down. London bridges falling down. Okay, I shared that message last year. You guys can go to my Facebook reels and see that same name. Okay, London bridges falling down. They're all falling down. They're all falling down. Everybody's going to jail or the cemetery. And it is justice.